Today's recipe is potato samosas, and we're going to start with the dough. So I have a 1/4 cup of canola oil. I have 2/3 of a cup of water. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I have 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. You can use regular salt. And I have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. For the first step, you need 2 bowls, a small one and a medium one would do, and you can use 2 whisks or 2 forks to mix together the dry ingredients and the liquid ingredients. You also have a spatula or a wooden spoon, something to stir the mixture together, and you need a tablespoon for adding a tablespoon of liquid at one time. We're going to add oil. This is canola oil. You can use vegetable oil if you need to. And that was a 1/4 cup of oil. We're going to add 2/3 of a cup of water. And we're going to whisk those together. Now combine the dry ingredients. We have the flour, the salt, and the baking powder. And whisk those together. Pour in 2/3 of the oil and water mixture. And stir it. Now continue to add the liquid mixture to the dry mixture, 1 tablespoon at a time, until it comes together into a dough. Turn your dough onto a lightly floured surface and knead for 1 minute. Form the dough into a ball and saran wrap it, and set aside for 30 minutes. This is what the dough looks like after 30 minutes. We've taken our dough and we put it on a lightly floured surface, and now we're going to roll it out into a rope. The technique for doing this is to roll back and forth with the palm of your hands while moving outwards. Your desired length is 18 inches. We're going to cut this into 8 equal pieces. If you're using a tape measure, you can start by cutting it half at 9 inches and cutting it at half again at 4.5 inches and cutting it at half again at 2.25 inches. If you're not using a tape measure, do your best to cut it in half and then cut those pieces in half again. So we'll end up with 8 pieces altogether. You're going to flatten out your dough into a circular disc that is 6 inches wide. And then once you've done that, you're going to cut it into 4. To flatten the dough out, you can use similar techniques that we used with the pita or the pizza. You can use your hands. You can use a rolling pin. You can stretch it or let gravity pull it, or a combination of those techniques until you have it in the circle shape you want. Now that the dough is all rolled out and quartered, we're going to heat each piece in the frying pan at medium-low for 30 seconds. I'm going to put multiple pieces on at one time. And I'm going to heat them for 30 seconds and then flip them, watching that they don't brown. This is what mine look like after they've been heated.